Good evening, everyone. Madhu Chandrika is a renowned artist, visual storyteller, and Tedx speaker, and founder director at Earthen Symphony. An alumna of College of Fine Arts, Bangalore, and ISB, Madhu has completed several prestigious commissions across the country and abroad, with Accenture, Biocon, Manipal, Honeywell, to name a few. Recognized as a thought leader for effectively using art in corporate communications, Madhu has been bestowed with various prestigious awards. The Goldman Sachs and Future Global Women Leader Award 2012, the Aspen Institute Women Entrepreneurship Award 2013, and Femina Women Entrepreneurship Award 2018, to list a few. Her work, driven by passion to tell stories, inspire awe through scale and form. And her website is a visual treat with the evocative artwork. Madhu, welcome to Suryodaya. We are excited to have you here with us.
Thank you, Sonali. It's a pleasure to be amongst all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, we will begin with your video and talk. Bejanti, could you please play the video?
Yes. Art and design can help spaces come alive and convey more than just a message. From a visual depiction of an organization's goals to filling minds with positivity and hope, art can be used to transform a space and send a core message home in more ways than one. Earthen Symphony is a decade-old award-winning art and design studio, disrupting both the traditional art world model and the accepted notions of branding. I am Madhu Chandrika, artist and founder, and along with my team of designers, engineers, and well-trained artisans, we work on cutting-edge designs in our well-equipped, expansive studios, handcrafting with precision beautiful works which help our clients tell their stories and create the ambience of their space. We start by helping our clients tell their stories through evocative art. We carry this thread and take it forward to create the ambience of the space.
So hospitals are like hotels today, and we want the experience to be seamless. I feel that with the choice of hospitals that are available, look and feel of a hospital has to go hand in hand with the services that the hospital has to offer. And with that in tow, we actually tied up with Earthen Symphony because we wanted to get the warmth, the vibrancy, the feeling of welcomeness into a hospital and make it feel like it wasn't a hospital, have that distraction that could be caused for people of any age.
From here, we help create an identity to the space.
I've been with Mohali campus of ISB for last 7 years, and we take so much pride in showing off this mural to everyone who visits the campus. I can bet on this that no one who has visited this campus has not clicked themselves in front of this mural. It's iconic, it's beautiful, it's so vibrant. It adds life to the local, monopolist colors otherwise.
When you experience a beautiful story and your emotions are triggered, it gets stored in your subconscious mind, creating a memory hook about the space. We call this communications through art, a unique branding like no other for our clients. We have helped tell stories of hospitals to hospitality, of nursery schools to universities, of aerospace and defense establishments to apartment lobbies and HNI homes. To make your space speak your language, call us now. Let us tell your story.
Yes. Thank you, Sonali. I think what you have seen in the video clearly explains what it is that Earthen Symphony as a company that we do. So I'd like to just take you through a little more details about some of these projects that you saw, and also showcase one of our latest projects, which I think would interest all of you. So just to begin, we've all heard that walls have ears, but have you ever heard walls speak? I'm sure looking at the video, you will believe if I said yes, walls can speak. You will believe that walls can communicate and deliver a message. Just imagine yourself working long hours and you looked up from your work desk. And as you take a break and you look up at the wall, what if that wall could relax and calm you? And imagine you're waiting in the lobby of a large corporate and the walls are spelling out the vision of the company. Now, yes, walls can do all this and much more. It can elevate your mood. It can cheer you up when in pain. Just imagine, you saw that we work for Manipal Hospital. Imagine you're waiting in a hospital to see the doctor and you know no one around you. I'm sure all of us have been through this situation sometime or the other, and we'll end up staring at blank walls. Now, instead, if these very same walls could uplift your mood and provide you a much needed distraction from the pain, it would definitely make a lot of difference to your visit to the hospital. I can surely tell you that yes, walls can speak, and for over 25 years now at Earthen Symphony, this is what we are working at. Walls can communicate, and art on walls can be used for effectively communicating. I say that I love telling stories. By creating wall art, which is customized to a space, it can help walls and in turn spaces themselves come alive. It can convey a message from a visual depiction of an organization's goals to an artistic rendition of the vision statement. Art can be used to send a core message home in more ways than one, whether it's exterior large-scale murals or a rightly placed small impactful creation just within the reception lobby. It can beautifully dress up spaces, from the most utilitarian to the most aesthetic space. And this, we can call it as corporate communication through art. So let me show you some of the works and explain this better. You saw them in the video, but I'd like to just give a little insight into the thinking process and how it was conceived for the space. So I'm just going to share my screen. Is that okay?
Yes, yes, please.
Are you all able to see my full screen? Is it a full screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So yes, like I said, we love telling stories. Now, this is the one that I showcased, which is of ISB. For an overview about the background, the Indian School of Business evolved from the need for a world-class business school in Asia. It is synonymous to excellence in education. Here, the challenge was to create a visually stunning artwork which would befit its stature and the world-class campus, while clearly conveying a strong message to the highly focused students who on graduation would be placed in positions across the world, and they would be capable of bringing in change to the environment in which they are placed. So this mural, as you see, it says, the journey or the path to the top, what you see here, the journey or the path to the top may not always be linear, but if you align and balance yourself within your environment at every step, success is but a byproduct. This mural says that the road to true and ultimate success is an integration and amalgamation of several different aspects of life. Growth begins when you give in to creativity, when you nurture your passion, when you seek beyond, when you smell the flowers, when you reach out, when you reach within, when you respect diversity. It's what we make of the journey on the path to success that is interesting. And it is counted not only by what you achieve, but also very much by what you give and pay forward along the way. So the details of what you can see, this is a mix of materials. It's a 30 feet high mural with ceramic, aluminium, and quartz crystal resins. And a bright and colorful palette was chosen to infuse the campus with vibrancy, movement, and motivation. In the landscape of the disciplined buildings that were around, this artwork is intended to act as a beautiful and vividly meaningful memory hook of that space. So that is their congregation space, and this is where everything, including the graduation ceremony, takes place, and the mural acts as a beautiful backdrop and a reminder of the values. So next, I'd like to just quickly take you through what we've done. An interesting kinetic artwork. This is a kinetic artwork. It is the founder's wall at MEMG corporate office, that is the Manipal group in Bangalore. So the Manipal Education and Medical Group has a legacy traced back to 1953, when the late Dr. TMA Pai had changed the face of education and healthcare in India through his pioneering vision. he transformed Manipal, a small town, into this vibrant university township and a center for learning. Now, the company states that his spirit is still alive, and it is the spirit of Manipal. That was the inspiration which led to the development of this artwork. It has small, tiny discs of aluminium, each of it 1 inch in diameter, fixed individually with 4 mm distance. So just with the AC breeze, it flutters. So the artwork flutters with slight movement and adds to the dynamism of the space. And this actually brings alive Dr. TMA Pai, his face, into their corporate office. Now, this is a very different artwork. This is done for HL in their management academy in Bangalore. These are some of the artworks in the management academy, but specifically, I would like to take you through an artwork called Aerospace and Creativity. Now, this mural is on the front external wall of the training block. That is how the wall was without the mural, and this is what you see. And very clearly, this adds a dimension to the space. So here, the creative process is described as the act of making new connections between old ideas. Thus, we can say that creative thinking is the task of recognizing relationship between concepts. The concepts here, which are rigid and seemingly fixed, break open in a creative person's mind and are constantly moving, floating, making newer connections, and finally transforming into a new idea, a totally new concept, and breaking previous boundaries. So what you see here is aircrafts that is designed by HL. So those are the new ideas. The artwork is fit in geometry, which symbolizes the moment of reason and clarity which emerges when a seemingly eccentric idea takes concrete shape. Here, the abstract geometric forms, the bird, this bird that you see is called the Ganda Beirunda. It is the insignia of the Mysore royal family, which was the patron for HL. So we've incorporated that history also into the mural. The rocket here is symbolic of aerospace technology, and the multiple angles of flight represents the breaking of boundaries. Now, another very important project that I would like to showcase is also what we realized is as we were working, yes, walls do tell a story and we can use walls and make them speak. But why only stick to walls? Going further, why not use any other space that can be used and effectively make sure that it tells and continues the story? So I would like to showcase one such story that we have recently told for our esteemed client, Ms. Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, the founder of Biocon, India's largest biopharma company. Through unique touch points here, we've done murals, installations, and creative graphics. So now Biocon is pioneer in cutting-edge research and produces biosimilars which work at a cellular level. Hence, the story here is all about cells, communication, and balance. So the Biocon logo, what you see here, this is the Biocon logo, has been artistically interpreted as cells. Each of these are cells which are in communication with each other. This interpretation has been rendered as a ceiling suspended art installation in the cafeteria block. Now that is the main artwork in the cafeteria block which anchors the theme. This mesmerizing artwork with its scale and color changing hues anchors the theme and the artwork created with dichroic acrylic lends a sense of vibrance, transparency, and lightness to the space. Each of these hollow spheres houses a delicately balanced set of brightly colored cell parts, which are kinetic and free-moving within the sphere, representing the microcosm, while the earth-imitating shape of the sphere represents the macrocosm. The cells are connected to each other with DNA-like strands and proteins, alluding to the central dogma of life. This installation and its attributes of vibrance, transparency, and lightness, kinetic movement, and balance act as subtle metaphors to the attributes of the company itself. In continuation from this pivotal theme of cells, communication, and balance, the threads of the story have been woven into interiors through artistic interventions in the form of artistic mural at the entrance. This is the entrance lobby with the ceiling lights. Now, this mural continues the story of the microcosm, macrocosm, and the cells in communication. The logo wall has an interpretation, again, in an artistic way with silk threads. And we have a sculpture which is placed down, which carries the story forward. And this is an executive lounge. And what you see, the artworks, again, this is the cells interpreted artistically, and it flows onto the ceiling light as well. So they become functional elements along with being artistic elements. The screens in this office have also been designed, in the cafeteria, have been designed to go along with the theme. That is what you see. Now that is an artwork which continues the story of communication in the boardroom. That is another artwork in the boardroom. Here you see again an artistic interpretation of cells in the lounge area, creating visual hooks for the space. This is along the staircase. It is about the touch of life. That is what Biocon works on, a touch of life. Now the cafeteria ceiling, the DNA structure and the story has been carried forward onto the ceiling. Wall graphics again has the same theme. The whole idea is to brighten the space but make it very personalized for the client. Now this is wall artwork, which is again inspired by the cells, done with thread art. The partitions also follow the theme of cells, including the coffee vending machine and the hand wash area, carries the story forward. So when you see an experience, a beautiful story, your emotions are triggered and it gets stored in your subconscious mind, creating a memory hook about the space. And this is what we call communications through art, a unique branding like no other for the clients. Now, this whole project of Biocon was conceptualized and completed during the pandemic, started off last May, and we finished it around July. So 26 years of surging ahead at work and leaving no opportunity unexplored, from being told that art could only be a hobby and not a profession. For me, Earthen Symphony is an alignment story. It's about the alignment of my personal passion and strength. It is like an intersection point, a point where I am submerged in what makes me feel alive while paying it forward to society through employment. And I would like to say that all this is possible because my team is my strength, and they work with equal passion to help me translate my ideas into reality. Every time a client returns, I'm convinced that we can make walls speak. And I'm more than convinced that I'm only a conduit, and the walls and the spaces were already waiting to speak and come alive. So our custom design solutions work best for corporates, institutions, hospitality places, and villa owners. We also have another offering. It's not necessary that there is only custom designed art. So since we have a unique sense of design and we've been working for so many years, we've created a catalog of some of our artworks as a product catalog. And that is available to be ordered from anywhere across the world on our website, which is earthensymphony.com. It is also available so this is a particular set of artworks which comes under the brand of Earthen Symphony. It is also available in pepperfry.com and livespace.com. So there are more than 500-600 artworks from which anybody can choose to do up their space without having to really go through the whole process of custom design. So yes, that was our story. That is about Earthen Symphony. And thank you for listening to what I had to share. And I am open for an interaction. I would love to hear from you all. Any questions you want to ask me, anything you want to share with me, I would be very happy to take it from there.
Thank you, Madhu. That was very inspiring and mesmerizing artwork we saw.
Thank you.
Stunning collection, absolutely stunning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll take the first question and then we'll open for Q&A from the rest of the members. Creativity can be imaginative, inventive, original. Understanding that creating artwork is a personal choice, what inspires your creativity?
See, for me, it is the space, it is the client, it is what works best for the space, keeping in mind what is the communication required for the space, how aesthetic the space can be made without diluting the intent of the artwork. Because none of the artworks are just art for art's sake. There is a reason for the artwork to be where it is. So there's like you heard when I explained, there's a lot of meaning, there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of dialogue with the client.
Internet is very spotty here. Can you do something? Sanjay?
Is my internet bad? Can you?
No, sorry for the interruption. Yeah.
Yes. So for me, the inspiration is the requirement of the client. And of course, to help the client get something which is way beyond what they would visualize or think. Me as an artist, I would say it is more of giving a vision and or a visual to their imagination.
Thank you. The explanation you gave with the stunning, mesmerizing artwork, that makes all the difference actually.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, there is a lot of thought process behind the artworks. And that is why we say it's not like a studio where we create the artwork first and a gallery where our artworks are available. So we work in dialogue with the client and it is art designed for the purpose.
Okay, thank you. I'll call in Shruti Podar for the next question.
Yes, Shruti, are you there? Okay, so I'll ask first. I
Yeah.
think Shruti is on mute, or I don't know where she is. So, Madhu, it's very rare to convert your passion into your career. We hardly see, because we have a passion for a lot of things, but we end up doing something else. When did you realize that this was your passion? And like, it's something rare. Like, we don't find such, I haven't come across anyone who makes such type of art, because painting, art, sculptures, these are things which we normally come across. But when did you realize that this was your passion, and how you decided to turn it into your career?
Yeah, so Rachna, I can tell you very clearly, there are two things to it. One is, I think I've always been a risk taker. So,
Mhm.
but what happened was, for me to join art school itself was a challenge. I'm talking almost about 30 years back. So you all know
Mhm.
how it
Mhm.
was 30 years ago. If I decided to, when I told my parents that art is something that I want to study, and it was a
Yeah.
5-year course, you
Mhm.
can imagine exactly what the reaction would have been. So that is what I went through as well. My father said, it's just a hobby, that is not something that you spend 5 years studying. But when he saw that I was quite adamant, he said, okay, it's up to you. I mean, it's, beyond my control, so you can go ahead and do that.
Mhm.
So having said that, after the 4th year, there was a long gap of about 3 months.
Okay.
And the 5th year, we had to do a project. And I knew for sure I specialized in commercial art, and I knew that it would be an expensive affair. And I didn't want to burden my father with the expense of that. And 3 months of holidays, what do you do? So I gathered together a set of another 3 friends of mine. And as we were talking and brainstorming, I hit upon an idea of why not do something and sell. Because as art students, you always have this one good thing is you don't have to wait to be finishing your graduation. You can start your painting. So I was doing paintings and stuff at home. So this was something totally different. I said, let's do pottery. And, it is that age, you're all of 18, 19, max late. I mean, I think, yeah, I was all of 19. And everything seems possible and doable. And I'm glad that I did it at that age.
That
So,
fire was there.
yes, absolutely. So I said, let's make pots. Now, where do we go and find pots? So another friend's village, which is in Andhra Pradesh, she said she knows a neighbor who is a potter. So we said, okay, we jumped into a wagon, went over there, stayed with the potter and learned how to throw the pots on the wheel. And I mean, it was very exciting. And the potter was totally shocked, why would you do a triangular shaped pot? What would you even store in it? How do you do it? So I spent a good 1 month experimenting with those pots, throwing the pots. So we made about 300 different pots in varying shapes, brought it back to Bangalore. In fact, we traveled in the back of a truck with the pots filled with hay, brought it back to Bangalore, and then started coloring it, painting it, thinking how to do it different. So that is how the name Earthen Symphony also came about, because the pottery we were till then used to seeing red terracotta pottery. But in a matter of 2 months, we had worked on each of the pots. So we had clusters of pots, sets of pots. I don't have the pictures here. I can show that to you. They were all in different hues and like blues and lilacs and purples and sets of 3, 4 together in clusters. And we'd given each of it a different name. And we put up a show in a prominent exhibition hall in Bangalore. And it was a 4-day show. And since we were from the advertising background, commercial art background, we knew exactly, how marketing happens. So we had invited architects, interior designers, and to our surprise, in the 4 days of the exhibition, all the 300 pots were sold out.
Wow.
And the architects and interior design, we were, like I said, again, young, and it was a nice picture story, colorful pots. So all the newspapers carried articles about the exhibition. That was very, very exciting, at that age, to see somebody come, appreciate what you've done, pay money to buy it, was a big high. But that was in the 4th year. So I had 1 more year to finish. So I kept that. Of course, I had collected all the address of the architects and all of them. I saved that book, and immediately after my course, the rest of the people, 3 of them who worked with me, we did the exhibition together, they wanted to get into a regular job. So they joined ad agencies. That would have been the very next step. I decided, no, that is not for me. That book, which was there with the addresses, was beckoning. I said, okay, I'm going to start my studio. And that is when we called it Earthen Symphony, because it was earthen pots, but with a very Western look. Right? So that's why the name Earthen Symphony, and it has stood. And that was how it started, my passion. And once I started off, again, I did a couple of shows, and there's a whole story there. I started one, the architects who came were very excited. And also this happened to be the right time when the boom was happening in Bangalore. The tech boom, and a lot of these multinational companies were coming into Bangalore, setting up huge campus. And they were having these India partners of architects and interior designers who had a very Western space to design, but they didn't have anything available locally which would fit into those space. And what we were creating, what I was giving as the color options, and I was able to customize. So that was very exciting. So they came back and said, okay, you're able to do this. Why don't you come visit the place, take a look at this, and then suggest what you can do. So I was able to take that forward. And as I went and saw these spaces, I also realized that there's a lot of empty walls. It was really a very, and just like I said, if you look up from where you're working, the table, just looking at blank, continuous walls, for me being an artist and always playing with color, it looked really dreary. And I happened to have suggested to the architect, why don't I take something from the pot, which is placed here, carry it forward onto the walls? And they said, okay, give it a try. And that's how it started. My first wall mural was about 2 feet by 2 feet, small little piece, which I baked with clay. There was cracks. I didn't know how to color it. So every single thing that I've done is an experimentation, evolution from the previous one. Obviously, you're all experienced, all this didn't happen at one shot. So from a small little one, which was just about 2 feet by 2 feet, our largest artwork, I would say, covers about 6 floors. So that is where it's reached. And even in terms of people starting off as a single person, when I started my studio, it was a friend's father who was very kind enough to allow me to use his garage, but it came exactly like our garage. It was not painted, everything. So I remember painting the walls myself, wearing, when the client, somebody walked in, it was with torn jeans and paint all over me. And from there, I started hiring one person, teaching them, what I want to do, how to do. And now I have a 40 member strong team, and that makes all the difference. I have 8 people on the design team. I have engineers on board. I have 30 people on the shop floor. And yes, being an artist, and I'm not from a family which is a business family. So I had no background of business or to fall back and discuss. And the business itself is, when I call it a business, is not a regular business where I have some other company that I can look up to and follow. So I had to grow it all with whatever I knew and try and experiment new things. So again, I happened to do a management course. I don't know if any of you have heard of the 10,000 Women program, which is sponsored by Goldman Sachs. It's a management program for women entrepreneurs, which is very interesting. So I've every time made sure that I educate myself, I equip myself for whatever that I need to do. I know for sure that I don't know it all, but it doesn't ever stop me from wanting to learn. So like I've had this one mantra. If when somebody asks you something, or if you have an opportunity to do something which looks so beyond what you've been doing, and if it scares you, don't give yourself, or at least me, don't give myself more than 2 seconds to say yes. I just go ahead and say yes, so that I don't allow the fear of can I do it or not come into me. Once I've said yes, now there's no stepping back. So I'm going to go back and then figure out how I can make this happen.
Yeah.
Right. So that has helped me a lot. Like I said, yes, it may sound like it's a risk, but of course it's a calculated risk, because if that somebody who is asking me something to do something obviously sees, and or rather at least they think more than me that I'm capable of that. That is why they're asking. So why put myself in the back step and get scared and then say, let me think about it and come back. So I just say, okay, go ahead. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you, Madhu, for sharing your journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Over to you,
Yeah.
Sonali.
Yes, your perseverance and passion is truly commendable. I'll take up next question from Alka Karnani.
Yeah, your artwork is indeed very mesmerizing. I just want to understand, when you visualize something, how do you actually communicate to your people, your team, and how do they learn that artwork to come up with a final product?
Yeah. So Alka, there is a whole process that I have been able to put in place for this. So when there is a sketch, first I start off with a sketch. Then I actually create a full scale drawing digitally on the computer. Like what you see behind me on as my backdrop is an artwork of a tree. Now this is done in a farmhouse. Now for them, for the client or even my own team to understand, this exactly the way it is, the sketch has been created. Of course, it doesn't have the 3D, it's a flat sketch. And then the client sends, or I visit the site and I have a picture of that place. And to scale, this is superimposed on that.
Okay.
So that makes it very easy for the client to visualize. And my production team, when they go for installation, they know exactly how to install. Now, in terms of production understanding within, we have a lot of systems, processes, coding that we have created over the years. So whenever somebody joins, even the design team, 2 weeks goes in just understanding our coding system. If I'm using wood for a particular thing, if I need it to be 3 inches thick, there is a particular code. If I wanted to have a shaded color, there's a particular code. If it has to be a flat color, there's a code. If it's aluminium, there's a code. So the whole thing now, with this many years of working, there is a proper process to it. So they understand. And of course, this is continuously at every stage. Once they do something, I go check, see if I'm okay, and then it goes into the next step.
Right. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Meghna Bajoria for the next question.
Thanks, Sonali. Hi, Madhu. Really, your work has been beautiful. I mean, I can't imagine the kind of creativity you put in from hospitals to offices. You did it all in an amazing way. My question is, from being a startup to your huge success now, what were your main challenges and how did you overcome them?
Sure, I can tell you. First, I would say my challenge was that, like I said, I had no management understanding. So, because of that, I did not ever delegate. First few years, I always thought I'm the artist. So, every single thing I have to do. So, if it was a pot or if it was a mural, I did not have any assistant or anybody. I would just have one assistant to sand and that. But from there on, even the base coat painting, the drawing, the sketching, right? Every single thing I did by myself, which meant there was only that much I could do, right? But I never ever, the idea of delegation didn't click to me. Though I only started employing people, they were all for the periphery work, just the preparation work, right? Cleaning, sanding, mixing the paint and keeping it ready for me. That's about it. But it made a difference when I did the program from ISB for management. That is when and I had no clue what a business plan meant. Right? That was, I had no clue. So that course really helped me. I created a full business plan. Then I had a whole system in place where I would have teams. Then I started hiring people specifically for creating teams. So that was a big challenge which I had to overcome. I'm sure that was the reason initial years of my journey was very slow, very, very organic. It was after almost about 12 years, I would say, but it was always the clients who kept coming back to me, and we've never had, I would say, touch wood, never a client who turned back and said, I didn't like what you have done. So that is what just kept me going. But yes, delegation was one thing. And again, understanding also that we need to be more visible, need to market ourselves, because till then all I did was word of mouth. It worked, it went on, so I let it be. But I also realized that for business, that's not the best thing, because you need work continuously when you have 40 people. So
Right, yeah.
whatever drops in, you just take it up, because you need day-to-day running. But if you have a structured marketing and business development plan, then you can go after the dream projects that you want, which otherwise, if you are in the business, you're not ever stepping away from it because you don't have the time for it, then you will not really be able to have a plan and focus and get to that dream project that you want, or get to be more visible. So that is something also which I learned very late in my business. Delegation, visibility, marketing, and networking. I would say, years ago, networking almost kind of felt like a not so great word. Networking for business, how can that be? Means there's something not right happening. But that is a total different ball game now. You need to be there, visible, network, understand, so that people know what it is that you do. I mean, there is no point being in a dark corner and then doing all the work that you do without it being visible.
Thank you for sharing, and more power to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Indeed, delegation is very important. Next, I'll call Preeti Agarwal for the question.
Hi, Sonali. Sorry.
Hello.
Hi, Madhu.
Yeah.
Hi, Madhu. Madhu, from an artist to an entrepreneur to a TEDx speaker to a management student, you are a multifaceted institution in yourself. You've touched upon the artistic thing, the management skill. Please tell us something about Madhu as a TEDx speaker.
So the TEDx, again, like that was again, which happened because of my 2 seconds policy of saying, take it and then try it. Because I used to always listen to TEDx talks. I loved them, but I never ever imagined that I would be giving a TEDx talk. Right. So it was on a Sunday, and I was just going through my mails, and I see a mail pop into my inbox saying, we are writing to you from ICT in Mumbai, and I'm from the TEDx panel, and we would like you to give a talk. I was like, first thing is, how do you even know I exist? I don't know. How do you know I exist? Where did you find me? And then immediately I mailed back, thank you for the great opportunity. I would love to do it. And then I said, but how did you how did you find me? All of that. And they said that they have a team which does constant, they on the net, they have searched and they have found my name. So TEDx also happened the same way. I said yes. And then I went back and started preparing what it is that I want to speak. And I went to Mumbai, and the talk was given in Mumbai. And very happy that it was again a published TEDx talk. So it was there on the TEDx platform, available for everybody to listen to. That's how it happened.
Thank you, Madhu.
So most of the things, sorry, I'm just saying that, none of that, the TEDx talk or the management, none of it is something which happened for its own sake. They're all tangential things which are happening as I'm continuously immersed and involved and enjoying what I do best, that is creating the artworks. So all these, like today, I don't know. I mean, Rachna just messaged me and said, you're a visual storyteller now. What does that mean? And she said, this sounds interesting. Would you like to talk and explain to us what it is that you do? So I said, yes. Again, immediately I told her yes. So this is a tangential, I'm meeting all of you lovely people here because of the artwork that I'm doing. So I'm continuously involved in that, and these beautiful things are happening around.
So inspiring, Madhu. So inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's all about believing in yourself also, right, Madhu? That's how you could say yes to everything.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. If somebody else has done it, I'm sure I can do it. I just have to put maybe a little more effort, but I'm not shy of putting in the effort or hard work. So that's fine.
Absolutely. Yeah. Neelu Gupta wanted to speak.
I was just asking, where are you based otherwise?
Bangalore.
Bangalore.
I'm based in Bangalore, yes.
Absolutely a delight listening to you and seeing your work. Absolute delight.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's really commendable, and I love your 2-second policy.
Try it. I'm sure even you will enjoy it.
Yes. I'll definitely give it a try. I'll invite Shalini Jalan for the next question.
Hi, Madhu.
Hi, Shalini.
It's so amazing, and your walls do speak a lot. We are all there, years all over. It's beautiful. I just wanted to ask you, say like a biocon office or an industry which is not familiar with you. So when you take up their projects, you must be having to do a lot of research
Yes.
And so your involvement, and you must have evolved a lot along the way with so many different subjects.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
has it been easy or difficult or?
No, it's been very enjoyable. It's been very enjoyable. I have, though I did art school before that, throughout my school time and my 11th and 12th, I've been a science student.
Yeah.
So the basics are there. So to go forward from there, dig deep is very interesting. And yes, like you said, they are highly specialized companies like we aerospace.
You
Say.
can't make an error. You can't
Yes,
do.
absolutely.
Like if you're making a cell, you have to make it correctly.
Absolutely, absolutely. But again, like I said, I do all the study that I can from my end, and it is always a dialogue with the client. So when
Right.
I present, they understand that, my limitation is this much. So they actually, if there is anything that is not rightly interpreted, they would come back to me, explain to me, we incorporate that. So, and another thing is, it is an artistic license that we are using to create something. Of course, like we've done a very beautiful artwork for a dental hospital. Okay, so how do you create an artwork? So they said we want to create something of what we do, so what do you do? So what I have done is, it's a big open mouth. It can be the most ugly thing, but what it is each tooth is treated as a canvas. Each teeth on that whole set of 32 are different artworks, and I have small little people, the dentists, actually working like artists. So we're calling the dentists as artists, very busy actually sculpting and creating things on the tooth. And so there is the braces and everything. Now in that, very clearly we've shown the 7 super specialities of dentistry.
Oh, nice.
So it's not just about the dentist. The different super specialities is what they are doing. One is doing the brace, one is doing the root canal, all of that. And the teeth has beautiful, it's like his canvas. Each dentist's canvas is a tooth.
Wow. Thanks. And I also wanted to ask you, I got part of the answer in what you said. Was when you started hiring people, was it like from art schools, or they were like different amateurs also?
Yeah. So the production, actual production line, none of them are artists, not even artisans. They are just 10th pass, some of them not even 10th pass. They have been trained in-house. They are the ones who are my stronghold, because they've been there for 15 years, 20 years, and their skills are really now to a league where I don't even have to check. Right? So that is the production part. Whereas my design team, I hire from Chitrakala Parishad, my same art school. And I also hire young designers for a campus interview. I go to NIFT. It's, of course, National Institute of Fashion Technology, but they have one particular subject, which is called accessory design. And in that, they understand materials. So for me, it's very important because we use a mix of materials. It's important that the people who are working on the designs with me, they understand material. So how to create with that material. So when I say use aluminium here, put wood on top of it, they should know how the two work together.
Thank you so much. Lovely.
Thank you.
We are looking forward to see the dental artwork you have done.
Sure,
I'm imagining it. Yes.
I will share that with Rachna. I think she can share it with all of you.
That would be lovely. Thank you. Last question, Pooja Agarwal.
Hi Madhu, good evening.
Good
Madhu,
evening.
I had a question regarding the variety of material that you've used in your artwork. From thread to aluminium to burst of colors. What inspires you?
So what I have been doing all the while is I go out into the market. I love to go into hardware stores. So my whole thing is that I want to use easily, readily available materials, mix and match them, and create something totally new out of it. So I use materials in a very creative way, which that material was not actually produced for that. But it is not such a difficult material to procure. So our designs are all material agnostic. It's not that we have these 7, 8 materials expertise, so let me design only with that. So we first design and then think of what material will give the look that we intend. Like, for example, I showed that the Biocon cells. Now, that we needed a very transparent look because there's a hanging suspended form in the center. Wanted to create it to look very light. So that is acrylic, which has a dichroic, a color reflecting film on top. Now that dichroic film is not available just like that in India. It's manufactured by 3M, and during the pandemic, we had to import it from US. So that is how we do. First we design and then experiment with the material and see what works best for that. Yes, along the way, these are the materials that we've used so far. It's been silk, aluminium, wood, glass, resins. I don't know if you have heard of this material called ACP, which is a cladding material. So we use ACPs, I use copper, GI. Recently, we did a very beautiful structure, which is, excuse me, about a 27, 28 feet high sculpture in just GI. GI is actually a galvanized iron, which is the MS that they use for construction material, but we created a sculpture out of it for a landscape space.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share with you that both my boys are from ISB Mohali, and
Oh,
I have a picture right in front of that mural, which is a must thing to do when you go there. You know?
Right, exactly. That's what it's part of the campus tour, and that's what they told me, that everybody who comes just stands in front of it and takes a picture.
It's a fact because I have 2 pictures for both my boys. You know, which is them.
That's great. I'm sure all your art installations, people want to click pictures there because they are so mesmerizing indeed. Sorry, we won't be able to take any more questions. I'll present the vote of thanks now. In the words of A. Albert, a Danish writer, being creative is not so much the desire to do something as the listening to that which wants to be done. It's the dictum of materials and space. Madhu, your work driven by passion to create decorative art is inspiring to us. Thank you for gracing our forum Suryodaya today. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you members for joining.